Coming at you with another video. In this one, I want to talk to you about why I sell my coaching with a simple Google document or a PDF. Okay, I call it an invitation document. It's less about the mechanics of the actual software that you use and more about the simplicity of it in the form of just inviting somebody to work with you. Okay, I recently wrote an email about this and it got more replies than pretty much any other email I've written in probably the last month. And so it obviously hit a nerve with people and I wanted to turn it into a video to be able to go deeper on this with you. Okay, so first things first, in my time online, since I got into internet marketing in 2017, I've pretty much tried everything. I've done massive affiliate launches, 6 figures in a day with affiliate launches. I've done webinars, I've done VSLs, I've done 7 figures in phone sales. I've hosted live events. I've sold via text. I've sold via the DMs. I've used this tiny YouTube channel to make over $1 million. Like I've pretty much tried every different tactic and strategy under the sun, right? And the reason I tell you that is because I'm not just talking from a place of theory and this is just, what I've picked. It's like, this is where I've landed now after having tried all of that. And like I said, right now, I use a simple Google document that outlines my core offering for the Lifestyle Business Academy. You can see it here. If you want to check it out, there's a link below, which will ultimately take you over to this page as well. And this document just invites people to work with me. It just breaks down like, here's what we're going to work on. Here's what's included. Here's what's not included. Here's who it's for. Here's who it's not for. Here's the 3-point plan that we're going to implement together. It's very, very simple. And that's the key point, is that there's no high pressure squeeze. There's no human interaction one-to-one, which makes it very, very leveraged. There's no join in the next 48 seconds. Otherwise your life is going to be ruined. There's no pressure. It's just, if you want to do this, let's just do it. And if you don't, that's totally okay as well. So that's the main reason that I really, really like it. It's a pretty cool world where you can be anywhere and you can copy and paste a link to a document and you can get paid, in my case, $2,000 again and again and again and again and again and again and again without needing to manage a team of salespeople, without needing to message people back and forth, without needing to get on a call and pull out your laptop. It's just beautifully, beautifully simple. And the low pressure part of it is really important when you actually work with your clients. People come back on this one a little bit because they're like, yeah, but it's not optimized from a sales perspective. And if you're actually working with your clients, the last thing you want them experiencing is a high pressure sales environment, because they're going to be starting at the wrong time, which means that the expectations are going to be misaligned and you're going to have a shit show when it comes to your delivery. So if you actually work with your clients, this is even more important. Okay. And so let's just go a little bit deeper into exactly what I'm talking about, right? So with this document, it just breaks down what I offer, who it's for, what's included, all these kind of things, right? And it works consistently. Okay. And there's a number of reasons for this. A big one is that I think people are sick of the bullshit, and people are sick of, oh, you want to do some work together? Let's spend an hour on the phone and I'm going to ask you a bunch of really uncomfortable and probing questions. And you can tell that I'm following a script and I'm 22 years old and I've been through some closer training, and you have to tell me everything about you for a $5,000 transaction. Like it's just crazy. People just want to understand, and they want the time to digest what you're all about. They don't want to get onto a call, not know the price, and then have to make a decision for multi-4, potentially 5 figures in the space of 30 seconds and be told they're not serious if they're not prepared to move forward, right? People don't want to do that. They want to be able to take the time to learn, understand, then go back and consume more content with context. This is why you can see this offer, my academy. You can see it in the description. It's like, go look at it. That's what's included. That's the investment. If it hits you and you're like, fuck yeah, this is great, then let's do it. And if it doesn't, come back and watch more videos, read more emails. You're going to see more of my ads following you around, reminding you that I exist. You can come follow me on Instagram, see what I'm all about. And if and when the time is right in the future, amazing. Let's do it. Right. That's the landscape that we're in now, where people want that time and space to be able to consume, and a simple document really facilitates that. The positioning is this: I'm running this cool thing, and it's happening, and this is what we do inside it. And if you want to come along, that's great. But if you don't, we're still going to do it anyway, right? And that's the stance. Okay. So let's go a little bit deeper on this. What does this replace? This replaces VSLs. I don't fundamentally have a problem with VSLs. They're also high leverage, but this is just really simple, direct, plain language, easy to update, right? People don't have to sit through a 30, 40-minute video. They can just get the facts, okay? It replaces the need for Calendly and people having to book times in my calendar, sales reps, closers, call funnels. It just removes complexity and friction from the process and allows me to focus on generating traffic, nurturing my audience, making sure that we align, repelling the wrong people, and then inviting people. And if it's a fit, they will step forward, and then the real work starts from there. Okay. The document provides a lot of clarity for people because it just lays out exactly what we're going to work on. You can demonstrate your conviction through the tone and the story and the messaging that you include in the document, and it makes it really simple for me to be consistent because in my marketing, because there's no sales bottleneck, right? It's literally just a link and people can consume it, and so I'm not waiting on sales, throughput and juggling marketing versus sales, which is a problem for a lot of people. I can just market when I want to market, and the document's there, and there's a link, and if people want to buy, they buy. Okay. And here's the big thing that most people don't understand. They think that there's some fancy copy, and you need a strong offer and you need strong copy and these kind of things. But here's the key part. It perfectly aligns to how I believe these types of businesses should be run, which is a marketing-led business instead of a sales-led business. It doesn't mean we don't like selling things. It doesn't mean we don't like making money. Right? I like making money as much as the next person. But I prefer to build off the back of marketing, which has a higher form of leverage, than sales, which is based on people. Okay. And so when you do this correctly and people are pre-sold on key things, who you are, what you do, and then the timing lines up, you can simply send a document like this and ultimately convert them. The document is just there to say, these are the terms and this is how it works. And if you want to go ahead, let's do it. And that actually leads into an interesting little side story. When I first came online and was seeing this kind of higher ticket online world, my background is in big business consulting. In my 2 years before I ultimately, or 3 years before I ultimately came online, it was in investment banking, corporate restructuring in New York, multi-billion-dollar deals, private equity. And we would get these deals done for hundreds of millions of dollars, if not multiple billions of dollars, with 2 or 3 page term sheets done in a PDF. And so when I came online, and I was like, people are literally taking all this time to try and twist arms to make like $5,000. It never made sense to me. It was nuts. And so for me, this approach really just aligns to how I've always done business, which is like, here's what's going to happen. Here's the outcome. Here's what's in it for both parties. Here's the terms. Here's the price. Here's the duration. Do we want to do it or do we not? Right. It's just very simple, proper business approach. Okay. Sales calls obviously work. And so this isn't about like shitting on sales calls or saying that they don't work. I just think how people buy has changed, and this really aligns to where the market is now and where I think the market is going, because it's simple, it's transparent, it puts the facts in front of people, and then they can just think about it and ultimately move ahead whenever they want to, right? Also, from a sales perspective, it forces you to get really clear on your offer, the problems that you solve, your audience, and your core system that you help people implement. Because if you can't clearly articulate it in a 4 or 5 page document, it's not going to work, right? Like if you need the hour to explain it, it's got to be refined. Okay. It also really stress tests your marketing and brand ecosystem. when you've got everything in place from a marketing ecosystem perspective, the document will work as long as it's pretty clear on exactly what you're going to achieve. You might think that you've got a strong marketing ecosystem, but really it's just a sales process that's carrying the heavy weight. And so it forces you to improve the depth of your marketing. It forces you to make sure that your offer is clear, that you've got a clear pathway that you work through with clients, that your content is actually building belief, that your remarketing and omnipresent systems are in place. It forces you to actually build a robust marketing ecosystem, which is built on true leverage, rather than a half-assed marketing ecosystem that's being propped up by a sales department. Okay, and ultimately, this operating system is what I build out with clients. Okay, so bringing this all to a head, why do I really think this is? It's not new. It's not a game changer in that regard. But done right, it's super, super powerful, because buyers ultimately come to you, and they don't just come to you wanting to ask a bunch of questions. They come to you pre-sold. They come to you with clarity around who you are, what you do, your offer, pricing, how you can help them, and the timing is right now, right? You don't have to chase. You can follow up if you want to, but you don't have to chase people. You don't have to convince, and you stay in a really leveraged position, and you're using higher forms. People think leverage and they think it's like absolute. There's layers to it. Naval Ravikant talks about this a lot. There's layers to leverage, and this taps into higher forms of leverage. Okay, you're actually running a system. You're running a machine. All right, and so, with all that said, if you resonate with this idea of building something that's more marketing driven than sales driven, you like the idea of building a robust brand and an ecosystem that can pre-sell at scale, it generates leads, it grows, it nurtures 24/7 without you cranking the handle. And if you align with this approach of like, well, I just like to be able to invite people to work with me, and if they resonate, they'll step forward and invest, and if they don't, they might take some more time and then do it, or if they don't, they just leave. That's fine as well. Okay, that's what this channel is all about. That's what the content that I create here is all about. That's what my lifestyle business operating system is all about. Okay, so I just wanted to film this video to talk about that piece in particular, not necessarily how do you create an offer document, how do you create an offer, but the philosophy behind it, why I do things this way now, and why I think it's a really, really good way to operate if you align with this approach. It's not going to be for everybody. For me, this part of my business, this element of my business, Caris Digital, is something that I want to be able to run really lean, run really efficient, be able to grow my brand, unlock advisory consulting work inside another arm of my business, unlock revenue share and online equity deals, give me time and capacity to invest, which is another arm of the business. And then above all else, be able to provide me time and space and margin to be a dad. And that's a lot harder to achieve if I'm not using the highest forms of leverage. And so that's why this is tactically and strategically, that's why this is really, really important. Okay. And people are either going to resonate with that or not, but I just wanted to put this on the table. All right. Appreciate you checking out this video. Links in the description if you want to see how I can help you out. If you vibe with this way and you want to implement it, my academy will be what you want to check out. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.